Yo 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 yo! It's the Black King, and welcome back. Welcome back to the Black King plays Command and Conquer Red Alert Retaliation. And this is just kind of another skirmish mode because I suck at the campaign mode. I'm not gonna bother with it. Maybe someday. I'm just not gonna bother with it right now. But in the meantime, I guess officially they made a song. I don't think they've ever made a one called Cold. I don't know, but I just listened to it real quick and see if that what it was. That's why I kind of paused it there and didn't let it kind of play. But anyway, so with this, I'm on my favorite map. I tried to show before because of an island that it has that you can actually take your forces onto. I would suggest that you obviously take a base of some kind that it can build one. You have to build up your base first temporarily. You could survive, but the random chances, no matter what map you're on, even this one, it's actually 100. It's about maybe an 1% chance that you'll actually win, and a lot of times I can win. But it just depends on whether or not they leave me alone or if I've got enough time to survive long enough to fight them off and then go after them when I've rebuilt my forces. But, I mean, while I'm standing right here instead of being on my island rebuilding my forces. Well, it's not really my island, but, technically it will be claimed as mine as soon as I get over there. But I'm the first one to make my... And see, always the one to actually make my ship dock. I've waited long enough for like many centuries, and I've not seen not one AI in this entire deal actually make a ship dock of some kind that kind of do that. So what you want to do is you want to hope and pray if you're going to play this game the way I'm playing with skirmish mode, because you can't get it any other way. Is that you get because this doesn't always happen. A lot of times I get an odd alignment. You don't have to be the Russian side or the Allied side, but you have to pick one. And anyway, with that said, you have to hope and pray that there's at least one side that's like you, and two others that are from the other side. Because sometimes all three sides will be the same, and it'll be like, oh brother. And then a lot of times there's only like three of us that are the same, except for one, and that's it. And right now, in this version, the last time I played this map, which was I think 2 or 3 days ago, anyway, finally, because it's been a long time since I played this game. But anyway, I have been playing it for on and off here recently. But anyway, uh, red is allied and blue is allied, like normal, except that yellow is Russian and so is green, which you would. Obviously, I don't get it. Green and red has always been something that's been loosely translated for the Russians, I guess. I don't get it, or just excuse me, the Soviets. But anyway, and anyhow, so basically, yeah, I set up my base. I don't normally set it up this way. Actually, I've never set it up this way. But I do always set it up in a certain way that because I have to have a warehouse and a barracks, and then eventually I get rid of them so that I can go down there. I don't always have 50 troops either, or a certain amount of credits either. I kind of unlock that, by doing some achievements of my own that I earned. But anyway, so what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to build my way so that I can go towards there. Right now, I've already gone ahead and basically set up everything. I had to obviously get it all set up with the one power plant that's not a double or big ones. Or excuse me, I think they're called advanced. Anyway, and then just so I can also build Teslas, so that I can also defend my base. It's not even easier to defend your base as allied either. Sometimes you have more of a chance as allied, but not necessarily. So anyway, right now, they're going after each other. I mean, I don't know why they do that, but they just do. They can't wait. See, I never attack any. Well, I don't. I'm not saying I don't ever, but like right away, I wait till I build up my forces and stuff. Even in campaign mode, I've been that way. And because I don't like to just go half cocked off there. That's a word that makes sense, but anyway, I don't just like run my forces all the way up there. I have done that once or twice, and then I got mission failed or something like that. And a lot of times it's just like kind of fun that way. But that was many, many moons ago. Like, God, it was barely when I was starting out in this game. So anyway, in this one particularly, I happened to get lucky. And the reason why you want that is because you're going to take over one of the bases, the allied bases, or if you're ally, you want to have take over the one of the uh, Soviet bases or Russian, whatever, same thing really. Uh, because they have things you don't have, apparently. You know that you're gonna want to grab because I mean, you could easily just wipe them out, but you still have to be able to figure out how you can defend yourself. No matter which course you take, you always have to do that. So what I'm doing in here is I'm not really going up against the main uh, Soviets right now. I'm just going against this because it's more fun this way. It always has been to me. I mean, honestly, the only point to this game to me to even bother with is this point. And so yeah, I mean, I'm glad because I could take my engineers, which you're supposed to do, but you have to make sure you protect them somehow or another. Well, actually, make sure you take in a lot of their base, and then go after them and take over. And then as much as you can. That's what I even did in campaign mode. You don't have to do that, but I did because I wanted their stuff. Because I always like grabbing their stuff. Because even though I can't ever actually have a mammoth tank, which is stupid, because we eventually do make mammoth tanks. I know that for a fact. As a matter of fact, we've always had heavy tanks too, but I don't know about V2 rocket launchers and stuff like that. Or what do you call them? That has the one missile in the back, but I know that we've had missiles, and they don't typically have that as a deal in this game. But anyway, yeah, I just want to take over the base, and you can't take over like turrets and stuff. That would be cool if you could. And then it would save you time from having to build turrets and stuff. But either way, it doesn't matter. It gives you a chance to actually build them on your own, which is good too. Uh, it doesn't really matter that it costs money, but it's not real money. It's in-game money, and that's one of the pluses as well. I never really thought about that, but it's true. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I absolutely love both sides, and that's the reason why I mean, even though I'm always heavily, mainly focused on going with Soviet or Russia, whichever one it chooses to do in whatever they call it, mode. Um, so, this mode here in particular, which is not the one where you go with the main storyline, which, is a little bit different than this. And it's just, the mission is to either take over the base, well, actually, first you obviously have to take down the defenses, obviously, before you can even do that. But the first thing you got to do in order to do that, you have to survive and build up enough forces. So either way, even if I go over to that island over there, I'll be able to survive and build up enough forces and go after them. And I can also use my like submarines and stuff like that just to take down their defenses and take over their base. Now I could easily take over a base that's like mine, but there's not much point unless they've got something new, which won't happen, I guess. But there are a lot of other like equipment and stuff that I have to unlock, and I'm not sure how you're supposed to do that. I'm guessing there's going to be through the campaign mode, which is a god awful thing. Because the one thing with I forget what his name is, because he can easily get killed, and that's the one that you got to make sure he survives long enough to get to an evacuation point to get the hell out of Dodge. So anyway, in this video, I wanted to talk to you about that, and because I'm kind of taking a break from Final Fantasy VII, giving my hands kind of a chance to relax and rest. Although technically they're not really relaxing if I'm playing. But yeah. Build like I do. I've done that. Except that I haven't done that. Look at that. Both like that. One of those bases I want, and I'll tell you that, I mean, right now, this I don't want because they have the same equipment build, as I do. And there is Ukraine in this game, but it has the same amount of effect as, say, if you were Russia. But anyway, I'm gonna take this unit right here. Let it land right. Well, I want to let him put him on the shore so that when that unit's ready, yeah, the one that's kind of building right now, mobile construction vehicle, and that's ready. Yeah, that's gonna take a long while because it's slow as well. I could put it in the deal. Now I'm gonna want to take at least a truck with me or something, so that I can keep that going. That's if I was doing this normally without, if I hadn't unlocked the money thing and whatever, because that doesn't really matter. It might slow me down even more, as long as I have a base that survives long enough for me to get down there. Anyway. Yeah, you'd think that these guys would count, but no, they're the ones that count are the ones that are called technically missile submarine or missile subs, short for submarine. So there's not much I can do in terms of making that right now, and and the barracks are different. So depending on what barracks you have, if it's green and it's a little flattened out, it's the Allies, which makes no sense because I know for a fact our barracks was like that too at one time. But if it's black, it's Soviet. I don't really think that's really possible, but whatever. Of course, the war factories look the same. The minor differences is what you can get out of them. So, but see, that's the reason why you want to take over the base, meaning you want to take over even their war factory, because building one on their side, either whether you're Soviet or, if you're playing as Allied and you're getting them, it wouldn't do you no good to build one from that side of the fence, because you don't get the tanks. All you can do is just basically take over the war factory. That includes the barracks to get the same troops that they have. Although for some reason or another, both sides actually have Tanya, and I know for a fact that both sides in reality have spies and thieves. But in this game, they don't have it. It only has one side that does that. So, and I've seen in the campaign mode where they have spies, which makes no sense, but they do. And I can't get one, for the Russians. You probably could. I think it actually, no, there is a campaign mode I know of, but it's on disc 2. So, but like I said, this game is really weird that way. And even though I've only got 2 Teslas out, I got this up here, which means I'd have to take them and hunker down on these guys if they decide to come in, which they probably are getting ready to mount force to come after me. And it's ridiculous that with everything going on, that they're trying to take out each other too soon. And another thing is, there's no point in having 2 barracks and 2 war factories, or even two of these, unless you're trying to take over certain areas so that it'll make it easier. Especially trying to on your funds. But that's it. Otherwise, two factories, I mean, unless you're trying to build your troops in closer, which is kind of crazy. And they only seem to do like two at a time anyway, which is nuts. And they also do, which is actually a good plus. They don't always do, actually they do. They build a lot more than I do, in terms of, this kind of little, what do they call this again? I don't remember. Actually, I'll say enemy structure if I let it stay long enough there. But they're called, anyway, they, oh crap, I better go put him in the deal. Because he needs to go down below because we gotta survive. Yeah, ore refinery. So, it's where all that ore comes from. And if you see, like, stuff like that with the different colors, they're called rare. Technically, even though it doesn't really say that they are rare, but trust me, they are rare. Because once they're gone, they're gone. They don't regrow like like the yellow ones do. So, anyway. So with that said, I mean, I'm going to take him and put him down on a little special island. Because I can claim it now. Unless they somehow manage to, which will never happen, unless it takes like, I don't know, 100 years. And that's if they survive long enough without me taking them down or something. And all of a sudden to build a dang factory or something, or whatever they call it. I don't remember what the Allies have. I think that's what they call a sub pin. It's a Tesla coil flamethrower. Kennel, and I know we've had dogs, but I guess they had them before we did. I don't know. Let's see, what's it called? Right, yeah, it's sub pin. So I don't know. But anyway, I like both of them because they can also produce different ships and different kinds of tanks and stuff, and different kinds of troops. So, but speaking of that, there's also helipads that you have to take over. Because, again, even just building it from their side, you're not going to get it. It won't let you have it. I don't know why, but they don't. So you have to just, like, take your chances and just, like, be one or the other if you're going to do it from the actual factory. So, like, say you're here, which is I have different names for it there. I don't know why they do that, but, yeah, Soviet Building Factory. And, come on. I know what to tell you. Allied Building Factory, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Allied Building Factory. So, if you want to do it directly from there, you have to be that when you start the game. On this map. The campaigns, however, you have no choice unless you're on a certain desk. Like, Disc 1 is Allies, so you would have no choice but to be Allies on that. Here, you do have a choice if you choose to be it. So you have to choose. Anyway, I'll be right back on the mic. And just so you know, those things are absolutely slow. Most of the time, so are the other ships. These guys are really slow. They don't go fast. Unlike in campaign mode, which makes no sense. I think that's what it's called, but anyway. So, either way, one of these guys has to survive for me to make a difference. As last time I played, I only had one of these guys, and they were like all the way down here, and they were blue, I believe. Yeah, as a matter of fact, they were. And they didn't leave enough for me to take over. I could have had a barracks, but you know what? They took out the barracks, and they made the other guys actually no. They got a lot of things, but they made the allies actually sell it off, and then all they had left was barely anything for me to pick from. And I was like, oh hell no. So I took my time, and eventually, when I got enough resources and stuff built up, I went after them with a big magic resource. I tried, obviously, use my nuke, my nuclear bomb, to take out as much as I could of their defenses. Well, I didn't do that for the ones over here. The ones over here were actually red, and I took them out with my subs. So, but they had yellow way up in the corner over here where the blues are, and I took out some other stuff with some, especially because they were just sitting there. They were doing nothing for a long time. They had plenty of ore, and even though there's some things were taken out, they still wouldn't move. And they finally moved when I took out the last bit of stuff that was, I guess, holding them back for some stupid reason. So anyway, I took my massive force. That probably sounds dirty, but I don't mean it that way. So anyway, of tanks, I had somewhat of troops, like a sort of an army, but not as big as my army of tanks and stuff. And you can only highlight so many at once anyway. But anyway, I just went over there and I took them out. They wound up taking out some of my tanks and stuff. But that's what happens in war anyway. So, but I wound up taking them down, and that was the end of them. But anyway, remember, when you play in this, you don't have to do it my way. You can do it any way you want to. It's like any game. But I would suggest it because it's more fun that way. Plus, you get a lot more benefits from it. From actually being able to take over a base once you've taken down their defenses any way you can. Plus, you can build stuff. Some of the stuff you can build, like the turrets and stuff, I would love building. And if I'm not playing as Russia, I'll play as Allied, and I'll just like build, from the Soviet factory, because you can do that once you take over. Of course, as you know, you have to have engineers. It takes about like 3 of them to take over. And it would be good to have 4 of them so that you can have it automatically restored so you don't have to do it yourself, because otherwise that takes too long. And it's just quicker to have four engineers go up there and take over it, because once that's done, it's fully repaired and everything, and it's yours. It's called construction yard right there, but, I think both sides say that anyway. But anyway, I just wanted to do a bit of Command & Conquer since it's been, so many years. So I've done this, and eventually at some point I will do campaign mode. I don't know when. I just not going to do it right now. Anyway, this has been Command & Conquer, or Alert Retaliation with your host, the Black King. Bye-bye.